In that quarter. Back right after this. And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, folks. Good to have you back. Ernie Johnson with Kenny the Jet Smith and the Big Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome to the NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports. Andre Drummond having an outstanding game. He had 20 points, 2 steals, and 1 assist. First 2 quarters from him were fun to watch. Kenny, what's your take on Detroit so far?
Man, I love seeing Andre Drummond take over. This is how he has to play every night, active, involved, and mentally engaged. When you have the size and athleticism, it's a crime to let anything stand in the way of your success.
And Shaq, your thoughts on the Heat?
Well, I didn't even know who some of these guys were, but their bench came up with some big shots, gave the team a lift offensively. It's always possible those guys will see more minutes in the second half, but at the same time, if you're a starter for a reason. We shall see, Ernie.
And that's a wrap for our halftime show. The third quarter just about to get started.
We'll be back in no time with the start of the fourth quarter.
And he's always been the favorite to bag this honor. These kind of feeds are his bread and butter.
This is what you need your floor general to do. Take charge, lead by
Player
example.
of the game, Hassan Whiteside.
And he's put on a terrific show of skill in the paint. A combination of moves, footwork, and that soft touch down low. It's all added up to one dominant performance for the big fella.
The Heat making a switch here. For our broadcast checked in. For Steve Smith, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for being with us. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening. It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Greetings, friends and neighbors. One half down, another half to go. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. It's the NBA on 2K Sports. Houston found themselves in a close game in the first. During one stretch, they trailed by 7, never falling behind too far. They had a slight edge on the scoreboard in the second quarter, but only by the slimmest of margins. Kenny, what'd you think about the Rockets?
Well, their ball movement was phenomenal. Now, they're in good position to win this game, large in part because of those assists. And this is the thing, Ernie. When you win as a team, you feel better about everything that happens.
How about you, Shaq? What did you think about Indiana?
Well, they had no consistency on the defensive end. Looked like they were building confidence, and then boom, turn up the volume. A series of bad plays. They're giving up way too many good looks.
And that's a wrap. With the third quarter approaching, we now send you back to Kevin and the crew.
Are falling with regularity, and they are pounding it down low. We'll return shortly.
And he sliced the D wide open with this feed. They had no chance to prevent that basket.
Well, that's what a great pass will do, right? You
Share
love
the
the
ball.
unselfish.
Both known for being ball-dominant guards. I think you'd have to say it's worked out pretty well.
And a chance now to recognize our Jordan Player of the Game, Chris Paul.
And he's been the man running the show for them, and boy, has he done a great job. He's up in the double digits in assists, and more than a few of those have been of the spectacular variety. For them to be successful, his passing has to be a key component.
For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our terrific 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening. Cruising game inside, and it's working for him. And we'll be right back after this.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to 2K Sports, the halftime show. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. Boy, we have a lot to discuss. The first half was all about Aaron Gordon. He had 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 steal. Shaq, what'd you think about the Magic?
Well, they're getting higher percentage looks, good game planning. The ball is moving around. Guys aren't pulling the trigger at the first thing they see. They are definitely staying disciplined. That's a big part of what has them having the lead at the halftime.
And Kenny, what'd you see from Cleveland?
It looked like they were shooting threes blindfolded. Sometimes you could get cold, but that was atrocious. It was scary. But they also looked scattered out there, and I think that disorganization was the main issue for them missing those shots. They need to establish themselves better into a better rhythm in the second half and avoid relying so heavily on the three-point shot.
And that'll do it for us. The third quarter about to begin with Kevin Harlan standing by. We'll catch you on the flip side,
My brother.
His mere presence.
And so it's the Orlando Magic, holding on to an 8-point lead heading into the break. They've played the better game so far, but their work is far from over. We come back right after this.
Glad this was the pick because I love this pass. Such a great dish. That's what I call court vision.
Yeah, and with the accuracy to go along with that vision. I mean, he put the ball down the absolute easily as they have. I mean, they've got to be more aggressive inside.
And now we've got a moment for our Jordan Player of the Game, Aaron Gordon.
And it's been a ridiculous performance in the best sense possible. I mean, everything about his game has been working, and no matter what they've thrown at him.
For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. We'll see you later. Conform. And we've got more NBA action on 2K Sports coming your way after this break.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, everybody. Tremendous first half. Glad to have you back. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. It was all Kristaps Porzingis in the first quarter. He ended up with 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Taking a look at the Knicks, Kenny, what'd you think?
You can see where the priorities are. Rebounding, and then more rebounding. They made a concerted effort to get the glass cleaned.
And Shaq, what'd you think about Chicago?
I really like how they limited turnovers. You know, they didn't play it too safe. They made some really nice passes. When you can play like this and cut back turnovers, it can add up to over 10, 8, 12, 15, 16 easy points, Ernie. I don't know how many points, a lot of easy points. They'll be in good shape if they can keep making the same smart plays.
And that should do it. With the second half about to begin, let's send you back to Kevin Harlan. Go back to Kevin Harlan. Go. Just go over there.
from the start of the fourth quarter. Stay with us.
Easy choice tonight. Look at the precision on this pass. Put it on a platter for him.
And when you're the beneficiary of a pass that good, you better deliver, and he did just that.
Here in the fourth, and now let's present our Jordan Player of the Game, Zach LaVine.
And guys, he's been about as close to perfection as you can be. The intensity he's played with has been amazing. Just no let up. And as fired up as he's been, he's never let his emotions get out of control.
Their previous two games have been losses, so something had to... For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, and the rest of our terrific crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. In the time, and the second quarter about to get started. We'll be back in just a moment.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, folks, welcome back. Ernie Johnson alongside the Jet. That's Kenny Smith. The Diesel, that's Shaquille O'Neal. A lot of big-time action so far in this one. There was no stopping Russell Westbrook in the first half. He had 20 points, 3 steals, and 5 rebounds. Kenny, let's get your take on Oklahoma City.
You can see where the priorities are. Rebounding, and then more rebounding. They made a concerted effort to get the glass cleaned.
And over to the big fella, your thoughts on the Pelicans.
I think they let the game come to them, but they haven't got to the foul line enough, Ernie. That's an area where they're getting beat. I'd like to see them press to action a little bit more.
And that's a wrap for our halftime show. The third quarter just about to get started.
So many of their points coming right at the rim. Back to the action after this word.
He sliced the D wide open with this feed. They had no chance to prevent that basket.
Creating plays for others, it's an art form, but it's also a discipline.
Seconds left in the game. Now the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Russell Westbrook.
And what an amazing ball game we've seen from him. It's been a one-man show worth the price of admission all by itself. There wasn't anything he couldn't do on that court tonight.
Now for Greg Anthony, Steve Smith, and David Aldridge. This is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA here on 2K Sports. And we'll see you next time.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, folks, welcome back. This is Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal at 2K Sports. Let's talk first half. Kyrie Irving was red hot to start the first. He had 20 points, 2 steals, and 1 assist. Kenny, what's your take on Boston so far?
Well, they're doing a great job of pushing the action and getting to the foul line. They aren't just pulling up for uncontested shots. They're making the defense react to them. In transition, on the dribble, and with those quick cuts, they're in attack mode. That's dangerous. To beat them, you need to force them to play more defensively.
And you, big fella, let's get your thoughts on the Nuggets.
Well, I didn't even know who some of these guys were, but their bench came up with some big shots. Gave the team a lift offensively. It's always possible those guys will see more minutes in the second half, but at the same time, if you're a starter for a reason. We shall see, Ernie.
And that's a wrap. With the third quarter approaching, we now send you back to Kevin and the crew.
Final quarter right here on 2K Sports.
And the definition of teamwork right there, guys. I mean, what great communication between them, and what a beautiful feed.
I mean, well, if you're the coaching staff, I mean, you're pumped up.
Jordan player of the game, Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, and his performance has been a jaw-dropper. He must have been feeling great coming into the building tonight, because once he hit the court, it was all working for him. He was in a zone.
Well, to come in here facing a hostile crowd and have a game like he's had, that's what separates the good players from the great players. Folks, for Chris Webber, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thank you for being with us. So long. Up by a dozen here at the end of the quarter. And if they keep draining the threes like they've been so far, their lead is safe. And we'll be back with you shortly.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Greetings, friends and neighbors. One half down, another half to go. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. It's the NBA on 2K Sports. It was a fast pace for Toronto at the outset, jumping on every opportunity to push the tempo. At one point, they had built a 14-point advantage. At the end of one, they were still firmly in control, up by 12. Momentum shifted quite a bit during the second quarter, as did their scoring, but they still hold a 4-point lead at the break. And taking a look at the Raptors, Kenny, what did you see out there?
Well, their playmakers are showing up tonight, seeing the court well, moving the basketball. That's why they had so many assists in the first half. And they're not just relying on ISO plays to generate points.
And Shaq, how do you think the Jazz were playing?
They did some good things, but the defense could have been much better. They allowed too many open looks, allowed the other team to make over half his shots. Some of that is not getting enough pressure on the ball, not really contesting at the rim. They look good, but not good enough.
And that's a wrap for our halftime show. The third quarter just about to get started.
And, you know, you can always count on him for at least a couple of these pretty assists over the course of a game. And this one, a thing of beauty.
Well, GA, you know a thing or two about a point
Of our
guard's
Jordan
job.
player of the game, Kyle Lowry.
And his shooting percentage reflects just how efficient he's been. It's better than 50%, always a sign of a solid offensive performance. But his movement and his shot selection have also both been tremendous.
They'd lost two straight coming into this one, and he knew he needed to put his foot down. He showed leadership tonight, getting them back on the winning track. That'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, Hoop fans. NBA halftime show on 2K Sports. EJ, Shaq, Jet. The first half was all about Stephen Curry. He had 16 points, 3 assists, and 1 block. Hey, big fella, what's your take on Golden State so far?
Well, they really dictated the pace of the game with their transition game. They got out on the break every chance they had, and the time they could push the tempo, they did. And a lot of times it kept the defense scrambling like eggs with the cheese and apple juice.
And now, Kenny, let's get your opinion on Memphis.
Well, I think they could be way more physical than they have been in the first half. Their defense gave up way too many easy looks, and that kind of defense will turn to a loss any night.
That's all for now. Say goodbye to the folks. Thanks
Goodbye,
for
folks.
joining us. Third quarter, just about ready to begin.
A lot of good shots. Back right after this. Our Jordan player of the game, Kevin Durant.
And what an amazing ball game we've seen from him. It's been a one-man show worth the price of admission all by itself. There wasn't anything he couldn't do on that court tonight.
For Steve Smith, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for tuning in. And we'll see you next time. A terrific basketball instinct on display. We'll return shortly.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, it's good to have you back. You're watching the 2K Sports Halftime Show. This right here is Kenny the Jet Smith. This right here is Shaquille O'Neal. Me, I'm just Ernie. Andrew Wiggins led the way in the first half. He had 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 block. And, Kenny, what did you see out there from the Timberwolves?
Well, Andrew Wiggins in the first half, extremely assertive. Pushed the action, attacked offensively, used his great athleticism. We'll see if he can maintain this intensity for the rest of the game.
And over to Shaq. Now your take on the Clippers.
Well, Ernie, they had a ton of fouls. Jeez. And the points they gave up at the free throw line added up in a hurry. They got to calm down during the break and play much more control in the second half.
And that does it for our halftime show. We now take you back to Kevin Harlan for the start of the third period.
Quarter comes to a close. Their strategy has been clear tonight. Work the ball inside, get shots in the paint, and now they are scoring with ease. Back to the action after this word.
Be wide open with this feed. They had no chance to prevent that basket.
Well, that's what a great pass will do, right? You love the unselfish play.
Sit up for Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge. This is Kevin Harlan along with our terrific 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.